Good morning, everyone. We are getting some new video this morning of a brush fire in the Choice View Emerald Hills area. A viewer sent us in this video of the flames, and the firefighter is quickly trying to put it out.
Yeah, you see how much water they're pouring on that, but those are pretty big flames there. The fire is now out, so we're glad to report that it started about 4:20 this morning, right off of Howell Street. This is just south of the 94. There's this small canyon right next to several homes, and a construction site is right there. So, of course, that's why that heavy attack of that fire certainly necessary. Investigators still on scene right now trying to figure out how it all started.
Thanks so much for joining us here at 6 a.m., everyone. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. We're going to get straight to Evan now with a look at our fire risk today.
Yeah, so, I mean, the thing that we have to keep in mind is that even with the high humidity values and low wind speeds, two conditions that normally present a lower fire risk, we do still have the potential for dry lightning out there. And over the mountaintops, that has been the primary threat. Yesterday, showers cleared their way out. There's still the potential for a few more remaining thunderstorms over the mountains today. You see how the wider picture across all of the southwestern U.S. has shown we've mainly dried out, but the mountains still hold a small potential for some dry lightning. If that does occur, it could trigger a fire, and those fires do spread rapidly, even with the higher humidity values that we have, especially because of how dry we've been over the last several months. So something to keep in mind is that that still is a possibility, as it occurred yesterday across many parts of Southern California. Just a single lightning bolt can do it. So we'll give you details on what the forecast looks like as we head toward the upcoming weekend. Right now, it looks like we're moving toward much drier conditions out there. So we're drying out. Temperatures stay warm out there. Details and a look at the 8-day forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Evan, thank you very much. And now this morning, a man and a teenage girl are dead after a crash overnight in National City. This was East Plaza Boulevard near Harbison just before 10 p.m. Police say the man and teenager were jaywalking in the dark. The driver stayed on the scene, but she was then arrested for DUI. We're also getting new video of the aftermath of a crash in Barrio Logan. Take a look at what happened here and how many vehicles impacted. It was about 1:30 this morning on South 16th Street near Logan Avenue. Investigators say a man crashed into a number of these parked cars, and the impact sent that one vehicle, that white one there, in the middle upwards on top of another car practically. Police say the driver was under the influence. Officers did arrest the man and took him to the hospital.
This morning, officials are investigating after another incident involving military aircraft, this time at Naval Air Station North Island in Coronado. An Army helicopter caught fire after landing yesterday. We're told it was a joint Army and Navy training mission, and no one was hurt, thankfully. Earlier this month, the Navy ordered a one-day safety pause after 3 other incidents involving military aircraft, including that Osprey crash that sadly killed 5 Marines. This morning, a North County dance instructor accused of sexually abusing students is expected to make his first court appearance. Authorities say 39-year-old David Silvas assaulted at least 4 girls between 2005 and 2014 at several locations, including the now-closed Callahan Institute of the Arts in Encinitas. Authorities believe there may be more victims and potential witnesses. You're asked to call the Sheriff's Department or Crime Stoppers if you have any helpful information.
And this morning, police are stepping up their crackdown on this right here, illegal street racing events that happen here in San Diego. CHP says the number of citations for these so-called side shows have actually tripled throughout the state in this past year. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol joining us live from San Diego Police Headquarters. It's surprising to hear how many people have been involved in this.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, Eric and Netta. That's right. We're seeing while illegal street racing to many looks like a hobby or just innocent fun, it has ended tragically for so many people. We spoke to a mother who lost her young daughter and niece to this dangerous activity.
I had to identify her body on Mother's Day, and we spent all Mother's Day in the hospital just praying that my nephew was going to survive.
Now, that was Lori Argumendo, whose 16-year-old daughter, Valentina, was killed in a street racing incident in 2013. She's now devoted to a nonprofit called Street Racing Kills, educating young people throughout Southern California on the dangers. Now, she's optimistic that a recent statewide legislation will make a difference, including a bill signed into law last year that allows the courts to suspend the license of a driver participating in a sideshow on a public street, which could also be expanded this year through another bill to include parking lots as well. Another bill currently making progress in Sacramento would increase funding for local and state law enforcement to go after these participants. Now, keep in mind that being a spectator to one of these takeover events is also illegal. Penalties for participating could include fines, losing your license and vehicles, as well as jail time. Police are cracking down. 170 vehicles and drivers identified, as well as 34 impounded, also looking for dozens more. This is something we'll continue to cover and keep you updated on as it continues to be an issue here. We covered last month Mission Valley, a popular intersection being taken over there. You can see footage on our website, CBS8.com. I'm Dana Marie McNichol live, coming to you from downtown San Diego.
Dana Marie, thank you for that. And we could be 1 hour away from a Supreme Court decision on the future of Roe v. Wade. Here's a live look at the U.S. Supreme Court right now. We're expecting a decision on an abortion case out of Mississippi that could have implications nationwide. CBS 8's Chris Groh live in the newsroom now with the latest on this. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Eric. And look, services and advocates across the country, both sides of this issue are gearing up for a potential overturn of Roe v. Wade. The High Court is expected to make a decision soon, again, potentially today. Of course, the case gives legal precedent guaranteeing the right to abortion in the U.S. A leaked draft opinion reported by Politico earlier this year showed the High Court does plan to overturn the precedent. There are about a dozen states with what are called trigger laws in place getting ready for this moment so that if and when Roe v. Wade is struck down, they would immediately ban abortion. According to a study by UC San Francisco, out of about more than 800 clinics across the U.S., 202 clinics in those states would be forced to close. 32-year-old Sabina Oster has lived both sides of this issue. She had an abortion in her 20s. Nearly a decade later, she made a different decision and is now a new mom.
No person can understand what an individual person goes through when they make their own decisions, especially one as hard as that. I couldn't do it again. I'm still pro-choice to this day, just due to the fact that I'm able to make a conscious decision on my own. I have support. Not everybody is as fortunate as me to have that support system.
And we will continue to monitor the court for any announcements. They could potentially be released as soon as 10 a.m. Eastern time, so 7 o'clock our time, so in less than an hour. Continue to stay with CBS 8 as this story develops. Eric?
All right, thanks for that, Chris. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol holding its 5th hearing today. The committee will detail former President Trump's efforts to pressure his own Justice Department into spreading false claims about the election. That includes reported threats to replace or fire leadership inside the DOJ. Today's hearing is scheduled at noon our time, and you can watch it right here on CBS 8.
And now your gas prices this morning down a little bit more. So we're paying $6.30 a gallon. That's down 0.7 of a cent. At least we're going in the right direction. I know that's still very high, but because of these high prices, President Biden calling on Congress to suspend the 18-cent federal gas tax through the end of September. Here in California, our gas tax is actually going to be going up. Starting July 1st, we'll be paying about 2.8 cents more per gallon, so about 3 cents higher July 1st. Let's send it over to now with a check of our forecast here this morning.
Hey, good morning to you. That's his live look outside. It's actually a pretty beautiful start to the morning. I mean, we're drying out across the county, so that means more and more sunshine in the mix after what was a pretty partly cloudy day yesterday. Yesterday involved a mix of sun and clouds out there, higher humidity values. We saw some thunderstorms pass through, and even the day before, if you were in Poway, for example, you picked up on nearly 0.2 of an inch. So monsoonal moisture, the first event of the summer season, came literally just as the summer began. The day really of the summer season starting and the day after is when that first main event came through. And you can still see when we run this all the way back through about 12 hours ago and the wider picture of what we picked up on. Now we're dry. Almost across the county, you've got dry conditions. There is the potential that across the mountaintops, some uneven heating could trigger a few showers and maybe even a thunderstorm or two, but that again is going to be a threat primarily for the mountaintops. Coastline and inland looks pretty good. 77 along the coast, 89 For your inland valleys, not much trouble out there. A lot of sunshine expected. Few clouds at times. Live look outside from San Miguel. Sunrise was at 5:42, and that sunset comes at 8 p.m. If you're walking out the door right now, we're mainly in the 60s. Overnight lows have been tremendously warm out there, and that means you likely won't need the jacket with you as you walk outside. It's a little bit cooler in Ramona, but Alpine, for example, 69 degrees, 67 in Julian. We've cooled down a bit, so 24-hour temperature change shows that we've lost a few degrees compared to yesterday and just over the last couple hours. Next 12 hours going to take us to the 80s in some cases, but for most of us, especially along the coastline, we're going to stay in the 70s for our afternoon highs. Let's switch gears and talk about what's going on in traffic. I want to take you to two different crashes that have just popped up. You see what's going on here on the maps, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a closer look here. Looks like what we have as far as the first crash goes is the left-hand shoulder blocked. I'm actually going to clear these out for you and then click on them individually. So first one that we have popping up there is on the 15. This is the left-hand shoulder blocked with a crash on the 15 northbound at Tierra Santa Boulevard. Second thing I want to take you to is in Santee, and this looks like a crash on the 76. This is on the 76 northbound before Woodside Avenue. Still working with CHP to get more information, but right now it looks like neither of those crashes involve too many delays along the road, so they should be pushing these over the shoulder as that one on the 15 has already been cleared. I'll send things back to you guys.